I graduated Refuge for Women in 2012, and after that decided to stay in Kentucky and decided to pursue a degree from Asbury Seminary.
I grew up in Ohio, average family, and I was a youth ministry major in undergrad in Ohio, and at that point I was working at a church as a youth pastor and got the chance to preach. Fell in love with that. Felt like that's where God was leading me into that part of ministry, and so I moved to Kentucky to go to Asbury Theological Seminary, and just graduated from there after 4 years. Got my master's in divinity. And
so we cultivated a friendship first, and that friendship was cultivated amongst many friends, which was helpful for me so that I wasn't bonding with somebody too quickly. I could see his character and how he related with other people, and not just like, is he trying to impress me? So there was none of that. It was just all of us being ourselves, and we just happened to really enjoy spending time together. I was so excited that I get to spend the rest of my life with this man that I built a trust with. And we were so excited to have our family and friends there, because to us, this wasn't about us. Like, it was an opportunity to worship God in the presence of our friends and family. And if you refer back to an earlier testimony that I had done, one of my hopes was to wear a white wedding dress. And so to come to my wedding with about 5 years of pure living, just honorable living before my God, and being able to make decisions that were good for my husband even before we were married. I did get to wear a white wedding dress and meet my husband. When I first left the Refuge, I felt like if I didn't tell people my testimony, I was lying to them. They're going to find out one day, and if they find out and I didn't tell them, then that's just very deceptive. And really, when I went to school, what I realized is relationships have to build over time. And once you find that relationship worthy of sharing that part of your story, then you can offer it. And so I really didn't tell Matt much about my past while we were building a friendship. But when we came back after spending some time apart over Christmas break, I just felt as a friend or as more, I think I can trust him with this. And so I had shared with him one night about everything that I had come through, and his response was, I think sometimes we take God's grace for granted. And, Matt's never seen me inject drugs. He's never seen me passed out in alleys, and he hasn't seen me putting on a performance for men. So all he has seen is a woman who is fiercely pursuing God, and my actions and my motivations backed that up.
When I first heard Deanna's testimony, what she said is, I think sometimes we take God's grace for granted, and also just how powerful of transformation God can do in our lives. What's always amazing is that God shows up in that story each and every time. And each and every time he transforms who Deanna is and the life that she leads now, and just the love that she experiences from him, and that I get to witness her pour out into others. And so
each season kind of shapes us a little bit differently as far as how we think the future is going to pan out. When I married Matt, I thought, pastor's wife, I'm going to support him, whatever church that he goes to, and I'll probably work there with him. I'll do some administration. I'll do, spiritual formation, lead fitness groups. And I want to do whatever I can to empower the plans that God has for his life. But what was interesting is, I still have a heart for reaching people that aren't going to walk into the church. And so it ended up being that maybe I'm going to reach people through health and fitness, and I'm going to reach people through different vocational outlets, and then Matt can have his ministry, and we're both supportive of each other's ministries. It just might not be, together, but our whole marriage is a ministry in general.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is, like she said, every season it's different, it seems like, of where we're heading, but we know that God lays the steps out before us, and we just have to be faithful in taking the next step. And so it's really what we've been doing is just next step, we take it with faith and trust where God's leading us. And so far, He hasn't let us down yet, and so it's been great.